Hello there, and welcome to Bread Talks Episode 2. Now, you're gonna notice the mic quality dropped off a lot, and, I'm making a new farm. Well, there's multiple different reasons for that. And, it's just, it just didn't end well. Um, I had to get rid of the mic and just use my internal laptop mic for now. Well, it's not gotten rid of, I'm just trying to fix it, and I'm lazy, so, it's taken me quite a bit, so, sorry about the mic quality on this one. And the whole resetting thing is just, the videos that I recorded after that, the audio was so unusable that I just had to restart. So, here is the part 2. For those of you who are new to the series, the idea is that I'm going to try to progress in Stardew Valley and kind of just talk. Whether it's life advice or just talking about how my life is going or, random stuff like that, or if you as a viewer have any ideas of what you want me to talk about, advice or whatever, hit me up. Just leave a comment down below and I can try to help you. And, the goal is to see, how long this will last and how far I can get in Stardew Valley. And then once I get bored of Stardew Valley, I move on to another game and see how far I get on there, and then we'll just kind of see. It's so weird that, this channel just has a bunch of random videos. Especially this one, like all the random things and how it changed. And I want to clarify that these videos are not scripted. Now, if somebody asks me for advice, I'll probably script it. So, it's gonna be all over the place. Just keep that in mind. But I'm gonna talk about one thing that I think everyone has in common, and it's getting employed. I currently work at a fast food establishment, and it's rough. Getting your first job is always the hardest, and this has been my first job, and, it's not easy. It's kind of annoying. They have me working annoying hours. They expected me to be able to run. They expected me to be able to run stuff in the beginning when I, didn't know what I was doing. I know what I'm doing now, but they kind of put a lot of pressure on me to, be perfect and make sure that the drive-through time is perfect. And anyone who's also worked drive-through before, you'll understand that a large part of the time doesn't even come from the drive-through worker. It's mainly just from the other employees. I mean, it's not their fault, it's from the kitchen people, and, well, food takes time to make. At least making it correctly takes time, especially when there's big orders. And they expect, all of your averages to, get a good amount, but, truly, you can only go as fast as the kitchen does. Sure, yeah, you can suck at working the drive-thru, but I mean, really, it's not that easy to mess up that much, truly. So, it's annoying. The one thing I'll say is that work is one of the most fulfilling things to do. Somebody who's had depression my whole life, I remember getting that job and just thinking, man, I'm amounting to something. I mean, that feeling didn't last too long, but it was there. I mean, sometimes the best thing you can do is just find out what you can do to make yourself feel like you're, doing something. And one thing I've really learned from talking to people and all of that. Everyone wants to be a somebody, and people are like, oh, I give myself this much time to become a somebody. The thing is, a lot of people want to be somebody to everybody, but to truly be a somebody and not a nobody, you don't have to be somebody to everybody. You just gotta be somebody to somebody. Whether that's your mom, your aunt, or that random homeless guy on the street that you give food every now and then, it really doesn't matter. At the end of the day, you're somebody. You can't say that you're not, because you are. I mean, hell, even now, sitting on your couch and doesn't talk to anybody, you're still a somebody. The idea of being a nobody is truly stupid. There's no way that you can truly be a somebody, the perfect eyes, the perfect point of view. As a perfectionist myself, I know it's really hard to reach the standards that is being perfect. In fact, it's impossible. Human beings put so much pressure on themselves and always like to blame other people, always like to say, oh, my parents put so much pressure on me, when a lot of the time it's just pressure that you put on yourself. Don't get me wrong, other people put pressure on you all the time, and that's not necessarily the best situation, but I mean, realistically, sometimes it's not just other people, sometimes it's truly just you. I know one thing's for certain, I really wasn't put pressure on when I was younger. My parents were just like, as long as you pass, or at least try, we don't care. I was one of the lucky children, one of the people who didn't have the parents who were super strict, super, difficult when it came to grades. They just kind of were like, as long as you try. Made it easy for some stuff, but for other stuff, it made it difficult. It made me feel like I had to be the one to put pressure on myself. I saw all these other people who were getting put pressure on when, I wasn't having much pressure, so clearly it had to be that I was doing something wrong, so I started putting pressure on myself. Not everyone does this, I'm a crazy person. I'm, very different than some, or actually different than most, to be fully honest. So, I mean, not everyone's gonna do this, but I think a lot of people, sell themselves short of how much emotional damage can truly be done by yourself and not by your parents or not by another person. You know, it's just it's just a lot of pressure in the world in itself, let alone the pressure that others put you through. You put yourself through a lot of pressure. I think one thing that's important is to realize that you could come from a perfect home and still have problems. You can have the perfect situation. You can maybe just have a dad who yells at you once or twice, and you can still have problems. I think a lot of people like to say, well, you don't get to be upset. You don't get to have your feeling because you don't have it as bad as me. I think that's a good thing now, isn't it? Why is it that you're getting mad at somebody for being able to express their emotions and be themselves because they don't have as many problems as you? Wouldn't you want that to happen? Don't you want people to feel like they can express their emotions despite them not having as many problems? No, obviously, if they're always complaining about how their life sucks, I get that. That's, really, really annoying, and I don't blame you for being mad there, but I think a lot of times people get mad when other people are having a rough time for a little bit because, they're having a rough time themselves and want to think that only they have a rough time because they have it worse. But that's not true. Depression is oftentimes not necessarily caused by what's happened in your life, though oftentimes it is, but sometimes it's just caused by chemicals. Chemicals in your brain not releasing the right amount of serotonin and dopamine. Which means, basically, the best way to describe it to anybody who doesn't understand what that is, you don't get the happy stuff. Though I'm pretty sure most people know what dopamine is, and probably a lot know about serotonin, but just in case, might as well put that in the most basic terms ever, because, you gotta be careful. Never want to explain something and have everybody all confused, because, I've been that guy who's confused, and it's not so fun. But I think a lot of people put themselves in this situation where they think that you have to go through a lot to feel depressed. They think that you have to be this crappy, crappy lifestyle. You have to, be treated so terribly to truly be depressed. You have to have parents who put so much pressure on you, or teachers who made you feel this or that. You have to have somebody else cause it. But realistically, it's not always that. Sometimes it's just how it is. I think it's interesting. It's interesting to think how many people sit down and think that they can't get help because they truly don't have a problem, because it's not that bad. I think the most important thing in life is to realize that sometimes you're going to have a problem. Some people say it's not good to admit that you have a problem. Some people say if you're always looking for a problem, you're going to find one. And I think that's definitely true in some cases and definitely true in a lot of ways, but I think honestly, if you're not looking for a problem at all and never look for a problem and always say that you're perfectly fine, then you're never going to find out if you're not fine. For example, if you're having medical problems but don't want to admit it and think, oh, I'm fine, I don't have a problem. If I think I have a problem, then I'll be fine. You could end up not going to the doctor and not getting diagnosed with some deadly disorder. You could end up dying. I think it's a balance. You gotta know when you got problems and when things just aren't working and when you need help, and you also gotta know when you don't need to worry about it. Life is a fine line, it always is, and that's the problem. it's so difficult to live that fine line. I mean, you kind of need to be almost perfect to ride that fine line. And no one's perfect. So no one truly rides that line in the correct way, because you never want to be the guy who's always complaining and always has problems, but you also never want to be that guy who has so many problems and other people want him to get help, but he just doesn't see the problem, so he doesn't get help. Or she. Or they, I'm not trying to be non-inclusive here. Here at, Bread Talks, we like to include all, so apologies for using gender-specific pronouns. It's my bad. I think at the end of the day, it's important. It's super important to realize that sometimes not everything's gonna be perfect. And sometimes people are gonna tell you that you have no reason to be sad because your life is great, or you have no reason to feel how you feel. In the day, you're a human. At the end of the day, you have emotions. And at the end of the day, sorry, I'm speaking, hang on. At the end of the day, you deserve to express your emotions. You deserve to feel how you feel and not have to feel bad about it. And if the people you're around are making you feel bad about how you feel, those aren't the people for you. The people you're around are making you feel bad for a lot of things about yourself, not letting you realize that it's okay, making you feel like you're the most terrible person, then those people aren't for you. I've been seeing this stuff on all these different social media platforms with people saying a bottle of water costs, we'll say, $1 at a supermarket. You probably heard this too, and then it costs $5 at the movie theater, and this much money in, it costs different money. It costs a different amount of money different places. So maybe you're not worthless, you're just in the wrong environment. And I think that's a great sentiment to say. Maybe you're not as bad as you think, you're just around the wrong people that make you feel that way. Sometimes your friends can be your enemies. Not in an actual, typical kind of way, more in a subconscious way. Sometimes your friends are the problem. Sometimes you're the problem. And that's part of why looking for negativity is super important. If you're looking for negativity and looking for people who are negative, or looking for how you're being negative, let me clarify that. Not looking for the negative, not looking for why life sucks. That's not what I meant by that. I meant more of if you're looking at people and realizing that, they are the negative and they are being negative, then those aren't the people for you. Surrounding yourself with negativity is one of the worst things that you can do. Because negativity loves to grow. It's like a plant. Just like the bean sprouts I'm planting right now. It grows. So it's out small. But the more and more you nurture it, and the less you try to pick out that weed, the worse it gets, the bigger it grows, and the more it's preventing all the other plants from growing. I guess it's not really a plant, it's a weed. It's not wanted, it's just kind of there, and it's taking up space for all the positivity, or the regular plants. I think it's important to realize that. Because one thing that's really important to realize is no matter what you think, no matter how much you think, it's okay to have problems. Hang on, let me set this up. There we go. It's okay to have problems. And it's okay to be you. It's okay to feel how you feel, and it's okay to not feel okay. But at the end of the day, your life is worth it. Your life is important. And you matter so much more than you could truly ever know. So please realize, you don't need to say goodbye to your life. Because if you said goodbye to your life, you'd be saying goodbye to so many people that you'll never know. So many people that you'll never meet, and so many experiences that might just turn your life around. Realize that you're loved more than you believe, and realize that people care about you. You matter. And you deserve to feel happy, healthy, and deserve to be you. Thank you for watching. and goodbye. Sleep before I, pass out. Hey, just real quick before you go, I would like to thank Dubby real quick for sponsoring my channel. Well, kind of. So if you go to the link in my description, or if you use code TEDBROXTHEBREADBOX on any w.gg purchase, you can get a nice cool 10% off of your purchase. So if you want to support the channel or want to get yourself a nice 10% off on Dubby, which is, if you don't know what it is, it's kind of like Gamer Subs and kind of like G Fuel, then go ahead. It's got some pretty cool collabs and pretty cool flavors, if I do say so myself, so go check it out for me, please. And, thank you for watching. And thank you to Dubby for helping out my channel.